All right, look, on my channel, we get straight to the content. So listen, I'm chilling, cleaning up and stuff, had a long day, you know what I'm saying? So I see Danny from the stock drops a video. Then I see Chick Smooth drops a video. They saying Ebro and the whole cast of that Hot 97 got Kizan, bro. They got canned. They cooked. They will no longer be on the Hot 97 morning show. Yo, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, not trying to be rude. Shout outs to everybody. Y'all know the vibes. I'm so glad Ebro is off the radio. Now, granted, I grew up in South Jersey, right? So I didn't get a lot of chances to listen to Hot 97 unless like I was going to North Jersey or like Central Jersey. You get to hear Hot 97. So you would hear like classic freestyles. Like Hot 97 was a wave for real, for real. Like if you my age, I'm 40, Beanie Siegel and them going up to Hot 97 rapping, Dipset rap, like it had a wave, bro. So I got a lot of love for Hot 97. I couldn't wait for somebody I knew from New York or North Jersey to have a CD, bring that joint down, like, oh, this is a Hot 97 joint. Give me that, bro. Need that ASAP, right? But we're starting to see, like, if you're in the internet streets like me, and I'm in these YouTube streets, and if you're watching this video, you probably in these YouTube streets, right? We're starting to see a lot of people get exposed, right? So sometimes on my channel, I'll talk about black culture, but we could talk about black culture and entertainment culture, right? A lot of these people getting exposed that on legacy TV or like radio, they something, but they only something because they own that. Without that, they ain't nothing really. We're starting to see that a lot, right? A lot of these people can't hang without a big ass media platform behind them supporting them. And then you got to remember, like, for instance, on YouTube, of course, I watch football, fantasy football, right? If you go to the NFL on ESPN page where they talk about football, that John got 1 million subscribers. Bro, it's regular people like me and you that do football content that got 1 million subscribers. You got to think about that, bro. That's crazy, but it's really not crazy because some of these people, they just made a way. Like, almost like right place, right time, but they not entertaining. They not really cultural relevant. Ebro has never been cultural relevant. I never understood this bull. And me, I love music. I could listen to old school music. I could listen to the new young bulls. I love music. Yo, how Ebro treated Lil Uzi Vert, that always rubbed me the wrong way. Cause like when I was growing up, maybe you my age, when I was and when you was growing up, our parents didn't absolutely love our rap music. No, they thought they didn't like it. They didn't like the message. They didn't like nothing. The way Ebro acted, it reminded me. Remember, I'm from South Jersey. So if you from New York, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but if you're 40 like me, you grew up where New York kind of held the gate closed they were like gatekeepers for like hip hop, fashion, almost like trendy stuff. I'm not trying to be a hater. Like a lot of stuff that New York people did, especially when I was growing up, other states will emulate it. Other countries might emulate it. You know what I mean? But I had never really thought that shit was wavy like that. Like beef and broccoli Timbs and all that. I never really got into that. Me personally, I never really cared about Air Force Ones neither. You know what I'm saying? Not saying they come from New York. I'm just saying, but New York had the game on lock, especially rap. You had to make it on New York radio. Sometimes I cover the Joe Budden's podcast. I'm not a big Ice fan, but when I was growing up, I was big on down south music. People was treating me like I was crazy. Shout outs to my boy Silk the Shocker. I've been listening to Cash Money. I've been listening to No Limit. Literally, since middle school. People thought I was crazy, bro. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. In 7th grade, I asked my dad to get me a No Limit chain. He definitely got me a No Limit chain. I was a cheese ball. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. But anyway, so watching that Hot 97 program and watching Ebro get out of here, I'm happy. I'm tired of that. I'm glad to see we finally seeing not the very end, but this is the end. Ebro don't got cultural relevance, but he was able to hold over people's head like, oh, who cares about your YouTube channel or your Twitch? I'm on radio. I'm on radio. You hear a lot of these people spam. Charlamagne the God spams it too. I'm on radio, right? Charlamagne the God, I don't really like him, but he does have cultural relevance. He has had moment in the culture. He does things that can culturally shift opinion and the things we talk about. Like seriously, he has cultural relevance. Joe Buttons. Joe Buttons, the things he talks about. He could change cultural relevance just by having a conversation. You know what I'm saying? I get at the Charlamagne and Joe Buttons. Yo, Ebro never was that, bro. So when Ebro was disrespecting Lil Uzi Vert the whole time, like I said, I listen to old music. I listen to the stuff from our generation. If you're 40 like me, I listen to the new young boys. Lil Uzi Vert has way more cultural relevance than Ebro would ever imagine to have. Like Ebro has no cultural relevance. He's sitting there popping it to the young boy, trying to make Lil Uzi Vert rap on the DJ Premier beat. Why, bro? What make you think you more hip hop than Lil Uzi Vert? See, I'm not one of them old heads. Listen, if some NBA Youngboy, for example, NBA Youngboy is not like, I don't like his music, and I fuck with the Youngboy's music. I don't like NBA Youngboy, but it's not for me. Like I said, I was listening to Silk the Shocker, Master PC Murder. If NBA Youngboy not for me, I'm not gonna hate because clearly he got a fan base. Lil Uzi Vert is the reason why. Listen, they always had dance culture in Philly and New Jersey. So I'm not like that dance music type shit. You know what I mean? Lil Uzi Vert really made it pop where it's pop, super, super popping right now. Because he started doing the dances. He started putting the people that do the dances on. He started shouting out Jersey for their beats and stuff like that. Like, come on, bro. Ebro never was trying to put on the youth. Grouchy ass old head activity I can't respect, bro. Gatekeeping New York activity I never liked, never could respect. It wasn't, I've been saying this, and like, you know, being from South Jersey, we closer to Philly. North Jersey closer to New York. So I always looked at New York like gatekeeping, like, yo, I don't even think they thorough like that. Old heads will say, oh, it's the New York generation, it's the New York generation. No, it's not. New York not thorough like that. And I listen to some of the young bulls from New York, Shy K. I fuck with Shy K. I like the young bull K-Flock. Free the young bull. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna spit. But like, I like that. But it was overly hyped up. It was overblown to the maximum level, that whole New York culture, bro. Because the way people view New York culture, like I said, they did have some cool stuff. But DC, the way they did stuff, like when it comes to wearing like Nike Techs and Under Armour sets and shit like that, people don't even know that's actually a DC thing. DC people been dressing like that since I was a young boy. I'm not even gonna lie. They always wore athletic sweatsuits like all the time. All the time in DC. So I'm glad to see Ebro go. I would be shocked if his YouTube is, as long as he doesn't bot. If he bots like Emmanuel Aksho, if you're not familiar with it, do your research on Emmanuel Aksho. But he bought a YouTube channel and they got like 1 million subscribers. But if you really in these YouTube streets, you know when somebody buy a channel. So he bought a channel. 1 million motherfuckers ain't really trying to listen to Emmanuel Aksho, culture vulture ass. You know what I'm saying? He's just not. He's a coon, and he Nigerian. His own people not listening to him, and Black Americans don't even bang with Buddy, right? So I would be surprised if Ebro really try to get his drawn out the mud if he has 250,000 subscribers, bro. He was a gatekeeper. He was not cultural relevance. He thought he dictated culture. He never did. I love to, like Peter Rosenberg. Peter Rosenberg, if you talk to Peter Rosenberg, if we got to talk to him, he would think that he dictated culture somewhat. Whole time, all he did was cling on the culture and know stuff about the culture. I'm not saying Peter Rosenberg don't like the culture, but he do be around people that don't really fuck with the culture like that. But he got vulturistic mannerisms. Not gonna lie. These dudes, right now, to get your shit popping, to get your shit buzzing, it's levels to this culture shit. It's people that like follow the trends, and it's people that make the trends. You know what I'm saying? To make a trend, to have cultural relevance in black culture, is to do shit that nobody doing and you comfortable doing it. That's how you really get it popping culturally, bro. See, if you black, I'm talking to black people right now. Y'all know how the culture move, bro. We made that Jordan's culture look nice. And then too many other cultures got on it. Then we went and started wearing some other sneaks. Now they trying to run and get New Balances. I said this in another video. When you born and raised in this culture, you don't got to chase trends, and you don't got to gatekeep information or gatekeep people from platforms or coming on the radio. You don't got to gatekeep when you really in the culture, because you make the culture. You make what's trendy. Joe Buttons don't got to cover nothing that these other dudes cover. He don't got to go team up with a comedian like Charlamagne the Guy. He don't got to run around with Andrew Schultz. And I don't like Andrew Schultz. I ain't going to go on him. He don't got to do that. Joe Buttons don't got to move like Gilly and Wallow. Yo, Gilly play more basketball than he podcasts nowadays. Not going to lie to you. I see Gilly and Wallow, I see them podcasts like a month. Now, I don't bang with them after they got rid of the bull Devin Wade. I knew that podcast was going to fall off. You know why? Early Joe Budden said, don't have guest-based podcasts, bro. And $1 million worth of game, when they had Gilly, Wallow, and the dude Devin Wade, shout out him, he from South Jersey, they were going to be able to not have guest podcasts. It could have just been the three of them, because early on it was only three of them, and them Jones was funny. Wallow and Devin Wade interactions and Devin Wade and Gilly interactions were classic shit. Not gonna lie. But then Gilly, you know, he think he's super thug. Him and Mano think they're the thuggiest thugs of all thugs. They got rid of Devin Wade, and then they had to like be guest based. But now the guest is running out. That boy, I'm surprised Gilly ain't getting a WWE wrestling ring yet. He playing basketball. This nigga moving like a Harlem Globetrotter. And then every other day now, I see Wallow, he back to turning into a motivational speaker. I'm like, damn. They can't just catch a vibe with each other no more. And they used to have Mono on there. Y'all dropped the ball not having Mono on there. But see, Gilly don't really got a personality like that. It's really Wallow. Wallow got a cool personality. He more down to earth. Gilly acts super thug. Nobody trying to be around gangster nigga all day. Acting everything he do gangster, bro. My boy Gilly don't podcast no more. He played basketball and became a glorified mascot for the Eagles. Shit is crazy, bro. But yeah, I'm glad to see Ebro go. And I'm glad to see these type of people leave. You know what I'm saying? DJ Academics and Ebro used to have beef. Listen, I'm hard on DJ Academics, no Diddy, because he's a culture vulture and he goes about shit a cowardly way. I'm not going to lie. He does. And I think DJ Academics is super talented, bro. If he could clean up some of that mess, I could go back to supporting him. Because like in my other videos, I said I've been listening to DJ Academics since day one. But his cultural relevance is high, was high. It's starting to fall off. But he was dictating culture. He had you hip-hop niggas worried about numbers when you should have never been worried about that. You should have only been worried about your craft. Because you cannot have a numbers-based argument where I don't know the exact numbers. Joe Buttons talked about it in the podcast. But like 3,000 streams equal one sell. That's the stupidest shit ever, bro. That's why when they say, oh, hip hop not in the top 25, well, you got 3,000 listens for a stream. No. When I was growing up, no, you got the listen because you bought the CD. Now, I don't even know how they came up with that equation. But y'all know them Esau Bulls, they real tricky with shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, shouts out to Ebro. Wasn't even listening to you at all. I'm just glad to see that the earth is shifting in the right direction. Grifter ass motherfuckers, culture vulture ass motherfuckers, gatekeeping motherfuckers. A lot of y'all seeing the end, and I love it. Like, subscribe, turn your notification on. I'm out.